No matter who you are, no matter your religious beliefs, your political beliefs, no matter if you like dogs or cats, or if you like Diet Coke or regular Coke or Pepsi, it doesn't matter. We all have this one thing in common. We got a body. Our nation was once filled with fit people, fit soldiers, fit kids, fit citizens, and even common sense. But now, it don't look like that. America, I'm gonna say this in the nicest way I know. We've let ourselves go. Today, I'm gonna talk about how the definition of health has changed, how we have normalized being sick and unhealthy, and why all of this is happening. Welcome to What in the Land.
What in the fuckland?
I haven't always had the perfect relationship with my body, like most girls, but I was an athlete growing up, and so a lot of my life was exercise. I remember in high school, I would have to wake up at 5 a.m. to go to cross-country practice before school started because it was too hot to work out outside after school, and a lot of us on the cross-country team played in other sports, so we would have practice for another sport after school. I even played basketball all the way through college, and even after college, I became a certified personal trainer for a couple years. So I was moving and shaking, and I understand a lot of people didn't grow up this way. I mean, even now, I feel if I go a few days without getting a walk-in or some type of exercise, I feel sad, groggy, depressed, ugly. And I grew up in the last generation of get out in front of the TV and go outside and play. So I would have these next door neighbors where I would go play tackle with them. We didn't play football because there are only 3 of us, but we played tackle. Maybe if they weren't available, I would take a softball in my glove and go outside and just throw the ball up in the air and then catch it. Sounds pretty lonely, but I was moving and shaking. Also, as a kid, we had the presidential fitness test. Do you remember that? You would have to do a whole bunch of exercises like the shuttle run or a mile run or sit and reach or pull-ups or a pull-up hold, and it didn't matter who was in the class. Everybody had to take the test. But it turns out that test was like unfair or something. I don't know how it can be unfair when everybody has to take it. But our coolest president ever, Barack Obama, got rid of the test and replaced it with the Dougie.
Push 3 and you dug it with me. Throw your own little swag on this Swizzy beat. Hey.
No doubt about it, Beyonce can make a rockin' groovy song. And she also made 4.5-minute workouts cool again. Let's be honest, our school's cafeteria food hasn't been the best, but you better believe that the coolest first lady made it even worse.
This had the effect of possibly eliminating pizza from school. Well, Schwann Company in Minnesota is a $3 billion private company which accounts for 70% of the pizza market in the U.S. school lunches. They could not have pizza eliminated from school. So their senator in Minnesota, Amy Klobuchar, wrote a letter to the Department of Agriculture to protect their frozen pizzas in school lunches. It had kind of a complicated process where the effect was to count a slice of pizza as a vegetable.
In terms of the pizza issue, we proposed a set of guidelines, and Congress essentially suggested that they wanted a slightly different approach.
Was that frustrating for you?
Well, it's a little frustrating, sure. But, you know, at the end of the day...
Tomato paste is a vegetable?
Well,
really?
Not in my household, but you know, I mean, somebody could probably make the scientific argument that it is, but it's not how I perceive a vegetable.
If you needed it, that was just further confirmation that the government doesn't care about your health. We used to have common sense and take pride in the fact that our body provides us with a lot of opportunities and even safety. JFK was the president who started the presidential fitness test, and he wrote an article one time called The Soft American, and he said this in it: "The harsh fact of the matter is that there is also an increasingly large number of young Americans who are neglecting their bodies, whose physical fitness is not what it should be, who are getting soft. And such softness on the part of the individual citizen can help to strip and destroy the vitality of a nation." This was in 1960. And we've made major moves away from the understanding that strong and healthy bodies protect our nation. 77% of young Americans would be deemed unfit for the military these days. But what happened? We used to be one of the fittest nations ever. And now we are a nation of people who make social videos to remind all of us that they are fat and beautiful.
Oh no, it's your daily reminder that fat women are beautiful.
But even with my history of exercise, I have still dealt with eating disorders like most girls. But there are a few reasons why I continued to exercise and didn't eat myself into oblivion like Nico Cotto avocado. One is I want to feel good, and maybe even I want to feel attractive. Sometimes I do a few more sit-ups thinking of the six-pack that I want to have. And I know people are gonna be like, what, you don't think obese people are attractive? And I didn't say that. But you said that if you were obese, you wouldn't feel attractive. Yeah, I wouldn't feel attractive. Is that such a bad thing to say? I don't feel attractive after I have a cheeseburger. Last night, I had a spicy chicken sandwich and fries and I felt like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I also like feeling healthy and energized. When I exercise regularly, I have more energy than ever before. And when I don't exercise regularly, I feel lazy and I feel sluggish and I feel tired. It's kind of like a science thing. But just like as a society, we have lost common sense and we have lost the definitions of certain words like a man or a woman, we've also lost definitions of attractive or healthy.
I'm fat. I'm fat.
I'm beautiful.
Don't you think it'd be a little weird if I went around and I made a whole bunch of videos and I was like, I'm tall and I'm sexy. Hey, don't forget, I'm tall, but I'm sexy. You'd be like, do you really think you're sexy? Because you keep on saying it. It's like you're trying to convince us that you're sexy. We see you're tall, but the sexy thing.
Just a reminder that I am very fat and very sexy. And I am 100% glorifying obesity. And there's nothing you can do.
The only thing I'm gonna do is not watch your videos. See what I mean? I'm fat, I'm sexy, I'm beautiful. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm glorifying obesity. Yeah, take it, girl. Reclaim the word fat. Speaking of reclaiming, we want to reclaim the word health nowadays. We want to take the word health and we want to define it and what it means to us. What? Health is already a word that means something. We don't need to redefine it. We don't need to have a million different definitions of health. Can you do that with anything else? I want to reclaim the word wine. And what wine means to me is water. And so I'm going to drink this water and no one can stop me from hydrating myself. I am tired of being told of what a Greek goddess looks like, when in fact, no, this is not what a Greek goddess looks like. Stop trying to gaslight me, gaslight all of us. How am I gonna hold up an orange and be like, this is what an apple looks like? Does that make sense? Or do I sound like a crazy person?
Miss?
No, it's not me.
Yes, it is you. Please go back to your seat.
Yes, I'm with him. I'm a Mrs. Iglesias.
No, you're not. You were just out here and you put sunglasses on.
Ever since I was a kid, there was all this talk about banning guns, right? They're violent, they kill people, we should ban guns. People go out and march out in the streets, have all their signs, ban guns. But the #1 killer in America is heart disease. And I've never seen anyone marching down the streets. More exercise, better diets. I've never even seen someone sitting down. More exercise, better diets. Always seems we want to fight to change what other people are doing rather than take responsibility for what we're doing. And I've seen people go as far as shaming other people for working out.
You work out strictly for appearance-based reasons, you are fatphobic.
It's okay to be weak.
Nobody cares about when you do that and there's like muscles there. Nobody cares about that. We don't want to see that.
It is okay to be fat.
Men are not meant to be dominant. Men are meant to be submissive.
Life's too short to exercise. I'm just gonna be honest.
And I'm not here to shame or guilt anybody into getting fit and getting healthy. But I say, use your own guilt and your own shame. These things are good. But as a society, we've tried to eradicate these negative emotions. We go to therapy and we try to eradicate shame. We try to eradicate guilt because it makes us feel bad. But these emotions are good for us when we use them for our benefit. We use guilt and shame like guardrails or like bumpers when you're bowling. They're a part of our moral compass. If we take guilt and shame away, we release standards for everything. If I don't feel guilt or shame about not fitting into my current pair of jeans, then what's going to stop me from continuing whatever lifestyle I'm living and make me buy more, bigger pairs of pants? And then without shame or guilt, what's going to stop me from continuing that lifestyle, especially when people are praising me for the brave choices that I've made, but then I continue to roll into type 2 diabetes? Guilt, shame, feeling bad, feeling tired, feeling sad, all of these things are indicators from our body to let us know that something's going on. During the pandemic, I was a frequent patron of Taco Bell drive-thru, and Taco Bell eventually got to know me. I remember one time going through the drive-thru and picking my last portion of the meal. Yeah, lastly, I'll have pretending that I didn't know what I was gonna get. Yeah, I'll have and then they finish my sentence. Oh, you gonna get the cinnamon twist? Yeah, I'll take this. Yeah, cinnamon twist. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. After that day, I stopped going to Taco Bell. Not forever, but I didn't go as often. A Taco Bell employee finishing my order turned on the shame alert so I could reassess and make healthier choices for myself. Bring back guilt and shame instead of strengthening our inner and outer selves so we can feel safe anywhere. We've decided to change our environments instead so we can feel more comfortable.
I hope that they learn that no matter what your body looks like, no matter where you come from, you can do anything that you set your mind to. You know, I didn't think that it was possible for a plus-size girl to win. I didn't think it was possible for a girl from small-town Alabama to win.
Getting that win took a lot of hard work.
I worked literally every single day for 365 days. There wasn't a day that I wasn't practicing my on-stage speech or my introduction, interview.
When you say someone is a model citizen, you think that this is a person with the values that I'd want to follow. But when I see people who don't value their body and then they're hoisted up because of that, it makes me question the common sense and the values of society today. You see this more and more. You see bigger women, obese women put on fitness magazines or put on magazines that value health and wellness. But come on, guys. This isn't about inclusivity. This isn't about feeling good in your body. This isn't about kicking the mainstream skinny girls to the curb. This isn't about any of that. This is because it's what the government wants you to do. What government and mainstream media advertises, they normalizes. The government wants us to be unhealthy and fat because it brings more money to hospitals, healthcare, big pharma, and food corporations. No, they don't want to kill you with a shot to the head because it wouldn't make them any money. They want to kill you slowly by you feeding yourself junk food, getting so overweight that you need to take drugs in order to stay alive. And then you die prematurely and leave your family with hospital bills, healthcare bills, funeral bills. And if heart disease being the #1 killer of Americans doesn't provide enough evidence of it being dangerous, look at what happened the past few years during COVID. 80% of Americans who were diagnosed with COVID were obese. During that time, there was very little evidence of masks actually working. Actually, they didn't work if you go out and see the studies, but yet we were forced to wear them. There was little evidence that COVID affected children, but we shut down all the schools. However, there was massive evidence that someone being obese was more likely to get COVID and even more likely to die from COVID. But no one was forced to exercise. The government also wants us to believe that obesity is passed along through genes and not by our environment, so we feel helpless because we feel like we can't do anything about it. And so we let ourselves go. We just continue to be a victim, and then we pass it on to our kids, and we give them the same environments, the same thoughts, the same values that we lived with, and then they end up not having the ability to lead healthier lives. Don't we want to feel healthy? Don't we want to feel fit? Don't we want to be able to travel anywhere and do any type of activity that we want without thinking if we are going to be able to because of our body? Look, when I go out in public or I go to the beach or a pool or something, I do get a little insecure about my body. Is anybody gonna love my love handles? Is that cellulite or a drop of water? Did I forget to shave? But I couldn't even imagine thinking about my body all the time and if it would be able to do certain things. Like, will I be able to fit on an airplane seat comfortably? Will I be able to walk to a restaurant from my home instead of driving? Will I be able to fit in between bars to go into a grocery store? Because in New York, they have grocery stores where if you are bigger than this bar, you can't come in. Those grocery stores are fat phobic. Just having to think about the abilities of your body like that sounds exhausting. And I imagine carrying that much weight around can also be exhausting. Look, I know times have changed and I don't want to be the person sitting here who sounds like an old man. It's like, it was better in my day. But I do think we have lost a common ground and a common sense and lost the pride that we have in our bodies is the only thing that keeps us here on earth. Instead of going to the gym, we just flop our bodies around claiming that we have healthy lifestyles. Lifestyles aren't about words or claiming it. It's about action. And life isn't about changing words or our environment to make ourselves more comfortable. People are going to think things about you. People are going to think that this mole on my forehead is weird. I could remove it. There's something I could do about it, but I don't want to. I'm going to have to deal with people making fun of me having a mole on my head. They're always like, hey, you have a bug on your head. Grow thicker skin so you can handle all the shit in the world. And I know not everybody is saying this, but the biggest and loudest ones are the ones who get heard. All right, y'all, that's the episode. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and comment below. I want to know, do you feel guilt and shame? Do you use those as bumpers in your life? How do you use them? Do you think you should use them? Do you think you should eradicate them? Do you exercise? Do you not exercise? What are your thoughts on this episode? I want big comments. Thank you for watching What in the Land. I will talk to you next time. Bye.
What in the fuckland?
We can have excuses like we have shitty food or we don't have the time, okay? Well, don't get mad at people when they say something. That's it. Just control what you can control. And if you can, in good faith, congratulate yourself by controlling those things, then congratulate yourself. But if you feel guilt or shame, a healthy balance of guilt or shame, then maybe don't congratulate yourself. Maybe work harder. Maybe do something different. Maybe go against the grain. Maybe multi-grain. That's not fair.